Apocalypse plus Rebirth plus System plus Space plus Zombies plus Multi-Goddesses plus Chat Groups plus Non-Virgin Mary, the global zombie crisis has erupted, the end of the world has arrived, and there are 10 out of 10 humans. In his past life, Feng awakened the S.level holy light ability and thought he could become the savior of humanity, but I don't want to be betrayed mercilessly by my girlfriend, brothers, and my saved neighbors, and die a tragic death at the mouth of a zombie. Reborn back to the end of the world a month ago, in this life, Feng has turned black and the S.level holy light ability has expired. At the same time, he benefited from misfortune and obtained the post-apocalyptic chat system, and his abilities were blackened out into an X.level chaotic master. Feng is gathering top goddesses from around the world while crazily hoarding supplies. Sister is the queen. Why do you ask me why I sold the company? It's just the task of the group leader. Body delicate and body soft. Brother, can you really cure me? Anime, stay away from me. God, I would like to offer everything for you. Malicious Green Tea. What? Why is my mission to kill 10,000 zombies? After experiencing betrayal, he swore to make everyone pay the price. There has never been a savior. Feng wants to become the only king in the apocalypse. Chapter 1. Power Failure and System Activation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The bone-piercing pain came, and Feng sat up with a fierce expression. In front of him was not the smiles of his enemies who had succeeded in their schemes, but the familiar ceiling. Feng sat on the bed in a daze. What's going on? Didn't they kill me? He clearly remembers that just now, his girlfriend who had been supporting him all the way, opened the door with his own hands and let in those ungrateful rebels, while his most trusted brother, Joe, secretly attacked from behind and stabbed him in the chest with a knife. He had thought that his actions would make many people dissatisfied, and he was already prepared for that rebellion, but he calculated everything, but he didn't realize that the two people he trusted the most had teamed up to betray him. Just for those supplies and spiritual crystals. Feng gave a pitiful smile and reached out to touch his heart, wanting to see the condition of his injury. Warm breath and powerful heartbeat from the hands. Dong dong. Dong dong. Feng was stunned on the bed. The wound has disappeared. And the muscles have also become smaller. He reached out his hand. His palms, which had been rubbing and grinding in the apocalypse, were now smooth and delicate. Can you say? He seemed to be aware of something and quickly touched the head of the bed. The phone is still there. Feng looked at the square in his hand, swallowed saliva, and pressed the unlock button. The screen lights up, and the white font on it shows that the current time is 8:54, December 23rd, 28, 1 month before the end of the world. Puff. The phone slipped from between his fingers onto the blanket, and Feng reached out to pinch his face with force. It hurt so much. He exerted all his strength with one hand, his cheeks turning purple from being pinched by himself, but instead of showing any signs of pain, he looked incredulous. This is Reborn. Feng didn't even have time to put on his clothes, so he rolled over the bed and rushed to the window to look down. The distant road was bustling with cars, and it was during the morning rush hour when people came and went downstairs. Occasionally, the beeping sound of electric vehicles unlocking could be heard. The fireworks on Earth create a peaceful atmosphere. He used to dream of making the world change back to this way. At the beginning of 2024, haze occurred frequently around the world. At first, everyone just thought it was just an ordinary natural phenomenon, until January 18, 2024, a heavy fog hit various parts of the world simultaneously. These mists seemed to carry some kind of terrifying virus, causing everyone to experience varying degrees of immune response. Most people have a high fever, while others have different hypersensitivity reactions. The heavy fog came and went quickly, and after only 1 day, it completely dissipated, but human suffering is pressing step by step. In the ravages of that disease, those who couldn't survive turned into zombies with only primitive eating and killing desires left. The speed of the zombies' mutation is too fast, and even violent agencies from various countries have not been able to react. According to rough estimates from previous lives, at least 80% of the population failed to withstand the invasion of the virus, and after the appearance of zombies, another 10% of the population was lost. On the first day of the apocalypse, there were only 1 billion people left in the world with 10 billion people left. The number of humans alone has instantly fallen back to the level of 200 years ago. In this desperate situation, human civilization is getting closer to collapse. In his past life, Feng awakened the S.level holy light ability and was regarded by everyone as the savior of humanity, and he did indeed do so. Strive to save more people, develop industry and agriculture, rebuild information networks. In just 6 months, Feng successfully recaptured Nanzhou and established the first political power of humanity in the apocalyptic calendar. But the good times didn't last long. Just after he had been up and down all night, rebuilding the complete rules of social operation, a rebellion broke out. Feng was betrayed by the two most trusted people. Looking at the orderly world outside the window, he smiled self-deprecatingly. This scene was once my dream. But that's all in the past. Turning his gaze, he locked onto a familiar figure. Aunt Zhang, who lives next door, is now walking out of the unit door, apparently going to buy groceries. These neighbors, who were the first to be saved by themselves in their past lives, can be considered as the elders of the Nanzhou Dawn regime. After establishing their power, they are also given the greatest power, but the initiator of the rebellion is precisely these people who followed him first. Feng showed a fierce expression. These people, they all deserve to die. I am an S.level ability owner, a legitimate third.order powerhouse. Choosing a day is better than colliding with it. He reached out his hand, mobilized his spiritual energy, and a pure white light ball quickly appeared in front of him. Great, if the superpower is still there, then don't blame me for making a big move. Before the words fell, the pure spiritual energy quickly dimmed until it turned into a mixed gray, and then dissipated into the air. Feng was stunned for a moment, then tried using the holy light again. I can't use it directly this time. Can we say that the holy light still demands the user's mind? He had a fierce expression on his face and was angry. Thief, I am your fairy. Feng clenched his fist. Even if there were no abilities, what would happen? Those experiences of escaping death in the apocalypse will not disappear. I will still kill you. Ding dong. It has been detected that although the host's ambition has changed, it has not changed. The post-apocalyptic chat group has been successfully activated. The pleasant mechanical female voice came, and Feng was somewhat surprised. What kind of thing? Play well like this, lose your abilities and pick up the system, right? Hint, the host has not lost any abilities. Why can't I use the holy light anymore? Unknown, please explore on your own. With a sigh, without superpowers, many things cannot be done. However, this is not a problem either. According to the intensity of the first month of the apocalypse, zombies and psychics are not much stronger than ordinary people. Although they have lost their psychics, their combat power is not low at all. Moreover, with the blessing of the system, there will always be gains and losses. He has confidence in building his own power before zombies and psychics complete the first round of evolution. He asked again, what are the functions of your chat group? A light blue interface suddenly appeared in his mind, resembling a popular chat app he had used, with the words, post-apocalyptic chat group and logo at the top. In the middle are 6 options, including chat, mall, tasks, transactions, space, and redemption. Feng opened the first item with his mind, the mall, and a dazzling array of items appeared in front of him. Integral 0, product. Gene potion, 500 points, must awaken abilities, spiritual shield, 1000 points, all-round protection, on, off at any time, lasting for 10 minutes, can be charged with spiritual crystals or spiritual energy, pistol, 1 point, ammunition 1 point, 100 rounds, T-virus stock solution, 20 points, greatly enhances physical fitness, limited to 1 exchange, magic cannon, 1 million points, power increases with injected spiritual energy. Did something strange sneak in? System: how do I earn points? Members of the chat group can earn varying amounts of points for advanced abilities, completing tasks, and killing mutated zombies or abilities with a clear understanding in mind. Feng clicked on the task interface again. First activation: receive 1A. Level task as a gift. Group members can earn 500 points by completing it, and the group leader can double it. Daily check.in, refresh E. Level tasks *1, group members can earn 10 points by completing them, and the group leader can double it. Reminder: tasks are used to publish to group members, and the content can be specified by the host. After the members complete the task, the host can receive twice the task reward as the group members. Feng was a bit cautious and thought, can I post an A. Level task where the content can be completed with just one breath? Rejected. Difficulty will be determined by the system. It seems that it's not possible to score points with advanced tasks, but being able to freely formulate task content is also considered good. If the tasks given to the other party are all beneficial to oneself, that would be interesting. In addition, based on the sign and probability, there are still 33 days left until the zombie outbreak. In the worst-case scenario, you can also draw 20 E. levels, 10 D. levels, and 3 C. levels, totaling 1,100 points, which is enough to exchange for 2 bottles of gene potions. Even if you're not a chieftain anymore, there's still a guaranteed 1,000 points guarantee for an A. Level mission win. Although supernatural powers disappear inexplicably, is it still a problem with the existence of a system? Among the remaining options, trading is used to facilitate mutual exchange among group members. The space is automatically activated by the host, while others need to spend 500 points to use it. Feng looked at it and found it to be a cube with a side length of approximately 200 meters. In the redemption interface, you can exchange points with spirit crystals and other items, but the proportion is very low. A piece of spirit crystal earns 50 points, but it sells for 100 points in the mall. The brand new Ling Jing is priced at half price. It's really heartless. Dissatisfied, members can exchange items and the host can purchase them at the same price in the mall, but the system did not make any profit from the price difference. That means if someone exchanges Ling Jing for 50 points, I can buy it back from the mall at a low price with a backhand. After thinking for half a second, Feng decided to admit his mistake. I'm sorry, you're a good person. After reading the system's incredible features and the items in the mall, Feng urgently wants to earn points. Open the chat interface, which includes options for chat groups, private chat, and adding group members. Choose to add group members, and the system will prompt you again. The initial requirement for group member quota is 500 points *500. Great, in that case. My over 1,000 points are just enough to attract a new group member in exchange for gene potions. For initial activation, a group member quota of *1 will be given as a gift. The host can invite them themselves or the system can draw on their behalf. Only one spot was given. Do you think your system is so stingy? What kind of chat group is this? Look at other people's chat groups. Which one is not in the tens? At least there are also a dozen or so people. That's good. At the beginning, there are only 2 people, so it's better to give back your abilities. Sorry, our system has limited spiritual power. Well, why did you apologize? I just casually roast. Feng is a bit strange. Why do you feel a bit sad and listening to the sound of the system? Forget it, at least it can be reborn, and there is also a system. This is a wild start. As long as you awaken your abilities after the end of the world, everything will be okay. After thinking for a moment, Feng realized that there was only one S.level superpower among the people he knew. He decided to let the system draw it. After all, that person had been under his command in his past life, not because he was a man. Is system extraction random? No, the system will scan the latest 5 S.level potential superpowers, and the host can choose one person to invite from them. What else are you thinking? Hurry up and smoke. Before Feng woke up, the system had quietly started running. completed execution, plan went smoothly, return to log. Failed to locate administrator, attempting to lock psychic coordinates. Success returned, clearing operation records and redundant programs. Loading preset, successfully binding host. Goodbye in the future. Start completed. Ding dong. It has been detected that although the host's ambition has changed, it has not changed. The post-apocalyptic chat group has been successfully activated. Chapter 2. President of Lin Group. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What else are you thinking? Hurry up and smoke. Successful, we have scanned the following 5 people for you. Name. Lin Ruoxue, position. President of Lin Group, without any special abilities, personality. Strong, decisive, with a strong desire for control and extreme lack of security ability. Level, Nirvana Phoenix, unawakened, name. Su Lingling, position level. W University student, non-talented, personality. Resilient, strong-willed, brother-controlled, eager to be saved ability. Level, Ishui Qin Han, not awakened, name. Qin Yao, position level. W University student, non-talented, personality. Versatile, cunning, lustful, capricious ability. Level, charming and charming, not awakened, name. Lu Feiyang, position. Sales, non-powered, personality. Quick-witted, cautious, lustful, ambitious ability. Level, speak freely, not awakened, name. Feng Jiangwo, position. Construction worker, without abilities, personality. Steady, loyal, introverted, law-abiding ability. Level, unparalleled, unawakened, Gu Feng was somewhat surprised. In his past life, he was within the scope of Nanzhou, but only himself and Feng Jiangwo were level. I didn't expect so much to be hidden behind the scenes. This is just a system scan. I didn't expect that the small Nanzhou is also a place of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. Can these people be the secret promoters of that rebellion? Among these 5 people, he knows 3. Feng Jiangwo was originally one of his subordinates and was very loyal to him, but he died too quickly at the time and had no time to rescue him. Lin Ruoxue can be said to be the most famous person in their southern state. He took over the Lin Group at a young age and doubled the company's size in just 3 years. Although Gu Feng managed his own company from a debt of 1 million to a market value of over 1 billion in just 3 years, compared to Lin Ruoxue, it was nothing compared to the big picture. Gu Feng and Lin Ruoxue have also collaborated several times in reality, and the other party indeed has the personality described in the system, making them very reliable business partners. As for Qin Yao, Gu Feng's eyebrows furrowed tightly. She is actually an level ability. It seems like she has a seductive attribute. Oh, it's hidden deep enough, my good girlfriend. But this time, you won't live to activate your abilities. As for Su Lingling and Lu Feiyang, Gu Feng has little impression. Just thinking about it, the spirit crystal of an level superpower is rumored to advance the superpower and awaken those without it. Not everyone is like their former self. Hiding is the choice of most people. I'm probably used to being a boss, but in the apocalypse, I still want to be a conscientious boss. Gu Feng runs the small company left by his family, but his parents have both passed away due to poor management and lost their money. In the 3 years from his freshman to junior year, he managed a company that was on the brink of bankruptcy to the point where it had a reputation in Nanzhou and even the whole country. At that time, he was highly praised wherever he went, which indirectly led to his arrogance and contempt in the apocalypse. Shaking his head and no longer thinking about that, Gu Feng chose Lin Ruoxue and clicked on the invitation. Sister is the queen who has been invited to join this group. There are still 29 days left until the end of the world. We suggest that you prepare early. The chat group displayed an automatic welcome message from the system, but Lin Ruoxue did not reply. After waiting for a few seconds, Gu Feng took the initiative to send a message saying, "Grey Wind. Welcome newcomers, I hope you don't die too early. At least contribute enough 500 points to invite the next person," Gu Feng thought to himself. Seeing someone send a message, Lin Ruoxue only began to reply, "Sister is the queen. Who are you? What's going on with this group? Why does it appear directly in my mind? Sister is the queen. I show you as the group leader here, so you made this note. Please change it for me immediately. Sister is the queen." At Grey Wind, Gu Feng is a bit speechless. Is this person's focus skewed? Why don't you want to ask the situation clearly and stare at a note? Grey Wind. The group nickname is created by the system based on personal characteristics, and it has nothing to do with me. Sister is the queen. Is there any way to hide or modify nicknames? Grey Wind. Maybe if you change your personality, your nickname will change. In the CEO's office at the headquarters of Lin Group, a stunning woman sits on a chair. Lin Ruoxue's pretty face is slightly cold. Can this person speak? Can their personality be changed just by saying so? The sudden appearance of the so-called chat group made her feel a bit awkward, but as a strong woman, she quickly adjusted. Sister is the queen. Tell me about this chat group. Grey Wind. It's truly the most dazzling new star in the business world in Kyushu. I calmed down so quickly. Sister is the queen. Do you know who I am? Lin Ruoxue was somewhat skeptical. The other party knew her identity and possessed this unknown means. If such a person had any intentions, wouldn't she be very dangerous? Damn it, how should a girl protect herself in such a situation? Grey Wind. You should see the countdown to the end of the world, right? It doesn't matter who you are soon. Prepare as soon as possible, and I hope you can live on. Lin Ruoxue raised her eyebrows slightly, and this Grey Wind seemed to know a lot of the inside story. She leaned back in the chair, wrapped her fingers around her hair, thinking to herself, the end of the world. I can't believe it all, but I can't help but believe it. This kind of identify method. Sister is the queen. What does the end of the world mean? What is the purpose of this chat group? Grey Wind. Literally, humanity will face a catastrophic disaster, and only a very small number of people can survive. Only by striving to earn points can we survive better. Sister is the queen. How to obtain points and what is the purpose of points? Grey Wind. Points can be exchanged for things beyond your imagination, such as abilities, equipment, appearance, lifespan, etc. There will be randomly posted tasks in the taskbar, and completing them will earn points. Most of this statement is true, with only one point being false. Tasks are not random, they are all tailored by Gu Feng for Lin Ruoxue. Lin Ruoxue clicked on the taskbar, and there was indeed a task inside, End of World Preparation. Level 1, E, please complete the following exercise checklist. Sit-ups 0/200, run 0/2 km task reward. 10 points in the apocalypse, physical fitness is the top priority. Newcomers, work hard to survive. This task covers a lot of exercise content, which is very difficult for most girls, but it is not impossible to complete. After all, there is no time limit. Publishing such content is just to gain Lin Ruoxue's trust and ensure that the system will not harm her. On the other hand, Lin Ruoxue was somewhat incredulous. In her opinion, this task was too simple. She took another look at the Huan Yen Dan in the mall and confirmed that only 10 points were needed. Can you achieve 10 years of youth with just a little exercise? No girl can resist the temptation of youth and beauty. The higher the status of people, the more so. Although Lin Ruoxue may appear glamorous on the surface, years of hard work in her career have put tremendous pressure on her body, the increasingly upward hairline, the faintly appearing wrinkles. She's only 28 years old. Although her appearance is still top-notch now, she can foresee that in less than 2 years, she will rapidly age. Thinking of this, Lin Ruoxuan no longer hesitated and got up to start doing sit-ups. Unable to wait for Lin Ruoxuan's reply, Gu Feng didn't care either. He must have gone to do the task. This kind of super reward with a visible progress bar would be 1000% motivation for anyone. Gu Feng got dressed and prepared to go out. The next step was to stock up on supplies and prepare weapons in advance. Pushing open the door, the bedroom door on the other side is also opened at the same time. Qin Yao rubbed her eyes and asked in a daze, Gu Feng. It's so late, haven't you gone to the company yet? Chapter 3. Accepting gifts is not equal to I agree. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Qin Yao rubbed her eyes and asked in a daze, Gu Feng. It's so late and you haven't gone to the company yet. Damn it, how could you forget this mess? This female watch used to live in her own house before the end of the world. Gu Feng's hatred surged uncontrollably, and he quickly walked forward, gripping her hands with one hand and her neck with the other, directly pressing Qin Yao onto the bed. Cough. What are you doing? Didn't we agree to give it to you after marriage? In just a few seconds, Qin Yao's eyes were in tears and she put on a pitiful expression. Looking at the delicate face in front of her, Gu Feng cursed inwardly, his mother can pretend. Before Gu Feng's death in his previous life, she heard Qin Yao mocking her personally. At first, she was only interested in Gu Feng's money, but now, Zhou Yi has promised her to awaken Gu Feng's S.level spiritual crystal to her. So she betrayed herself without hesitation. The culprit behind the bankruptcy of his own company and the subsequent difficulties in development is also his good brother Zhou Yi. You always think about saving the world, but you can't give me what I want. Qin Yao's mocking expression seemed to be right in front of him. He wished he could kill the two directly, but after thinking about it, the end of the world had not yet arrived. Killing now was like digging a grave for himself. And it's too easy to just kill them like this. Gu Feng wants them to die in despair. He released his hand and turned to pinch Qin Yao's cheek. It has to be said that Qin Yao looks really good, with a slightly baby-fat face and exquisite facial features, which can arouse the protective desire of all men and easily gain the trust of anyone. She approached Gu Feng not only because she had money, but also because she could make money. At the same time, because he had to balance his studies and career, he didn't have much energy to fall in love. He simply agreed to Qin Yao's confession, which also helped him block a bunch of suitors in school, giving Qin Yao a lot of room to play. The company's accounts should be thoroughly checked. Previously, Zhou Yi was in charge of finance, but now it seems that the two of them may have started sucking their own blood long ago. Humph, it hurts so much, you don't really care about them at all. Qin Yao forcefully pulled open the hand pinched on her face and complained. She felt a bit strange that Gu Feng had always been polite and gentle towards her before. Why do you feel that his gaze is a bit scary today? Seems like there's some deep hatred towards oneself. However, she didn't think much about it either. With a man like Gu Feng who has little romantic experience and is focused solely on his career, he is really too easy to control. Woo-woo, besides studying every day, I also have to work hard to maintain this family for you. Is that how you treat me? I'm really sad. As he spoke, he unexpectedly shed 2 more tears. Gu Feng almost couldn't help but burst out laughing. Maintain this home. Does it mean that household chores rely on paid door-to-door cleaning, or does it mean ordering expensive takeout or restaurant dine-ins for every meal? Learning. Does it mean that you failed 12 subjects in 3 years of college? If it weren't for donating enough to the school, would you still be able to make it to your 3rd year? What's this to you? Which time during holidays did I not give you a valuable gift? Which of your requests did not meet? But that's it. At most, Qin Yao has held hands with herself. Gifts are never returned, and gratitude is never expressed. It's safe to ask for money. Looking back one by one at this moment, Gu Feng wanted to slap himself in his past life. What did he find to live at home? He couldn't help but ask, so what have you done for this family? Qin Yao hesitated for a moment and stuttered, I helped you block those seductive and cheap people outside, allowing you to pursue your career with peace of mind. I also recommended Zhou to you. Isn't he your best brother? Your company's finances are well organized and all of them are managed by us. Qin Yao became increasingly angry and even accused Gu Feng, how can you ask me to give as a girl? Girls are meant to be spoiled. Don't you think about how much you've given me? Why do you ask me what I've done for you? Gu Feng smiled and said, oh. Think about how much I've paid for you. Qin Yaoli said confidently, isn't it just crazy giving me gifts, taking my best friends and me out to eat, drink, and have fun, occasionally creating small surprises, and spending leisure time with me? I tell you, accepting gifts is not equal to I agree, romance is what you as a boyfriend should do. Accompanying is the longest confession of love. You know about work and study every day. You only accompany me for 2 hours a day, and you don't care about me at all. The more Qin Yao spoke, the louder his voice became, which even Gu Feng couldn't bear. He raised his hand directly, pop. A crisp sound sounded, and even the room echoed with a buzzing sound. Qin Yao covered her face and couldn't believe it. You hit me. Gu Feng disdainfully said, it's you who hit it, stinky girl watch. What else would you do besides asking for money if you just hang out and eat and drink with me every day and don't do anything serious? Still studying. The subjects you failed were all handled by me through the school leadership. It's a miracle that you didn't repeat your grades. Taking care of household chores. Have you ever done household chores even once since you moved in for 2.5 years? Accept gift is not equal to agree, that's right. I also have an inequality. You're my girlfriend is not equal to I can't hit you, come on, there's still half left. Hurry up and extend your face. Qin Yao's head had already been knocked unconscious by the beating, and she couldn't believe that Gu Feng, who had always been so gentle, would actually take action against herself. Woo, how could you take action on a girl? What? You're a girl is not equal to can't be beaten. Do you want to refute? You refute me, I'm just refuting myself. Qin Yao's mind was a bit confused, but Gu Feng didn't give her reaction time. By the way, I gave you money is not equal to spend, please refund me all the transfers now. She suddenly woke up and didn't care about anything else. If you want to take money from her, that's taking her life. Ah. Get out of here. I don't want to see you again. She was waving her hands and feet on the bed, as if going crazy. Gu Feng originally intended to say, you are my girlfriend is not equal to you can live in my house, but after thinking about it, if you drive her out, it will be difficult to kill her after the end of the world, it's more convenient to keep her at home. With a contemptuous smile, Gu Feng turned his head and left, not forgetting to add a sentence, didn't you say I don't care about you at all? It should be easy to find someone who cares about you more than me, so please find one as soon as possible and let me see what it means to care. Actually, Qin Yao is right to say that. Gu Feng no longer cares about her now. Leaving the house, Gu Feng made a phone call, these are the materials. Send them to my office immediately, and you can give as much as you have on hand. If you do well, you will become the CFO in the future. But if I find any discrepancies, then you don't have to do it. To check the company's accounts, Zhou Yi will definitely try his best to stop it. Gu Feng made a heavy promise casually, anyway, the world will be over in a few days, and it doesn't matter what the company does. In just a few minutes, Zhou Yi's call arrived, hello, brother Gu. What's going on? Suddenly, you need so much information. This is such an urgent matter, brother. I will personally handle it for you, and I will definitely complete it with quality and quantity guaranteed. The content is all fictional and unrelated to reality. Chapter 4. Cheap Selling Companies. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Perhaps readers need to store their brains. Hello, brother Gu. What's going on? Suddenly, you need so much information. This is such an urgent matter, brother. I will personally handle it for you, and I will definitely complete it with quality and quantity guaranteed. Hee, there is indeed a problem. No need, I heard you're not in the company. I've already asked someone else, so it's not good to retract the order. That's it. I have something else to do, so I'll hang up for now. Gu Feng ignored him and drove directly to the company. There was already a secretary waiting for him downstairs. Nodding to the other party, Gu Feng swiftly walked into the company building. The female secretary didn't ask much, but quickly followed his footsteps while whispering quickly behind her, "Boss, all the information you requested has been prepared." During the journey, Director Zhou tried several times to check it, but I refused. When I came out, I locked the door and no one could enter your office. Gu Feng nodded with some relief. It seemed that his judgment of people was not a mess. I recruited her at that time mainly because I saw her ability. The serious kind. Xiaoyu, do you have any further plans in the future? Yu Xinyue was stunned for a moment and said nervously, No, boss, I think it's good for now. Gu Feng patted his forehead. His question seemed a bit strange. Just as he wanted to explain, the elevator arrived. Forget it, come and check the information with me first. Sitting in the office again, he felt as if he had been separated from another world, with a sense of unreality in everything. He inexplicably hoped that the end of the world would come soon and he would no longer be bound by rules. After realizing his own thoughts, Gu Feng couldn't help but shake his head. No wonder I can't use the holy light anymore. However, he did not reflect on whether his thoughts and actions were moral. As a person of 2 generations, if his thoughts cannot be understood, he is afraid that he will become even more distorted. After calming down, he reached out to flip through the materials on the table and handed a copy to the little secretary Yu Xinyue. The first thing I saw was an expenditure from a week ago, which read, Business Entertainment Expenses. 100,000 yuan, and was stamped with Zhou Yi's private seal and company seal. Oh, why haven't I heard that Mr. Zhou is still responsible for maintaining customer relationships? Gu Feng chuckled lightly, and Yu Xinyue beside him also said somewhat incredulously, last month's equipment procurement cost 2,000 yuan per keyboard, 1,000 yuan per mouse, and 20 yuan per roll of toilet paper. How could Mr. Zhou be so blatant? Isn't he afraid of legal sanctions? It seems that this is also related to oneself. Gu Feng touched his nose, feeling a bit embarrassed. He has been busy running projects all these years and has no time to manage financial matters. As long as the company's books are profitable every year, he has not considered so much. Opening the accounts of Zhou Yi when he first took over finance, these materials were made much more covert. It can be seen that the methods were more complex, and the amount of misappropriation was not much. It was because he had not been in charge that he became more and more daring. Recently, he has not even covered up much. Rubbing his eyebrows, Gu Feng didn't want to check each one, so he decided to hand it all over to Yu Xinyue, save all the recordings, calculate the total amount, make a PDF and send it to my email. It should be completed within today, isn't it a problem? Yu Xinyue looked at the small mountain-like information in front of her, swallowed her saliva, and trembled as she said, Old boss, maybe there's no problem, right? Gu Feng also realized that the task was a bit heavy. You can postpone all other tasks today, so just do this. If you can complete them on time, I will give you a 1-month paid leave starting tomorrow, and I will give you 50,000 overtime pay on my salary card. Yu Xinyue was so excited that she even stood up and saluted to attention. Yes, ensure completion of the task. Seeing her full of energy, Gu Feng nodded in satisfaction. Sure enough, there is no unfinished work, only insufficient salary. After leaving the company, Gu Feng sent the purchase list he had taken photos of to Zhou Yi. Mr. Zhou, can I see the 2,000 yuan office keyboard? Zhou Yi replied quickly, Hey, brother Gu, we've been brothers for so many years now. Don't argue with your brothers about this money, right? This little money. If it were in a previous life, I might not have pursued it anymore. After all, If we met once, as long as Zhou Yi paid back the money, it would have been fine. But now, he's thinking about how to torture Zhou Yi. The crime of misappropriating funds, exceeding 4 million, for 10 years. Brother Gu, let's have a fight together. There's no need to fish to death and the net to be broken, right? Gu Feng was a bit speechless, so he just tricked himself and you just resorted to it. You are really greedy for more than 4 million. Should we send him to prison? Gu Feng immediately denied that Zhou Yi must solve it himself. Either you pay off the money, or we'll go through the police procedure. Upon seeing it, Zhou Yi immediately panicked. After all, he was just a college student, just lucky enough to have met Gu Feng, a super thigh who was fully engaged in business and had zero knowledge of people. Let him repay the money. I have already spent a lot of money. Although he kept half of it, it's not enough to repay it no matter how hard he thinks. Put him in jail. That's even more impossible, he's still pursuing the campus flower Qin Yao. Brother Gu. I was just momentarily infatuated. Your adult doesn't care about petty people. If we have a fight, do you want to put your brother to death? Gu Feng felt nauseous for a moment. I treated you like a brother, and you treated me like a scapegoat, right? Since that's the case, don't blame me for pulling up your wool. No money. Coincidentally, I'm planning to sell my equity. Since you're so interested in the company, let's take over on your own. Zhou Yi felt very unbelievable that Gu's company had a strong momentum in the past 3 years, and had a considerable reputation throughout Nanzhou, which can be said to have smooth business routes. People who want to acquire and invest can blow up the company's phone every day. Even so, Gu Feng has never let go. Over the years, he has always been the only shareholder of the company. And now, how could Gu Feng be willing to sell the company to himself? He had no time to consider whether there were any traps among them. Zhou Yi only thought of his happy life after sitting in such a treasure trove. He quickly replied, Brother Gu, a gentleman's words are unforgettable. Are you telling the truth? Naturally, it's true. Based on the price given by the investors last month, I'll sell as much as you can buy. I'll peel off your bald skin all at once. Zhou Yi didn't know Gu Feng's purpose. He was still ecstatic in his heart, but on the surface, he remained silent. Brother Gu, do you seem to be in a hurry to use the money? The new company has a project that is quite short of money. Well, the chat group project does lack development funds. Alright, if you really want it, just contact my legal team. I have fully entrusted it to them. But Zhou Yi didn't think so. If Gu Feng established a new company, how could Qin Yao not inform him? She has taken a lot of money from herself. Can it be that it got stained with spinach? Zhou Yi thought and thought, but didn't understand the reason why Gu Feng sold the company. Damn it, why do you think so much? The money you picked up for nothing is still human. I don't know what confusion Gu Feng has made, but this is a real money tree. Even if I lose everything, I want to take it. Hanging up the phone, Zhou Yi began to contact all his contacts. Dad, I recently persuaded Gu Feng to transfer his equity. Mom, those few houses at home. Manager Wang, I have some assets here that I want to mortgage. Vice President Su, I would like to apply for a loan. Fictional content, unrelated to real company operations, finance, and legal provisions. Chapter 5. Order of 50 million. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What? You said Gu Feng wants to transfer the company to you. Upon hearing this news, Qin Yao initially did not believe it, until Zhou Yi sent her the chat records of the two of them. She is different from Zhou Yi. Zhou Yi thinks that Gu Feng is losing money elsewhere, while Qin Yao is really willing to believe that Gu Feng has a new project in his hands. As a woman who has been following him for 2.5 years, she is too aware of Gu Feng's terrifying business acumen. Qin Yao couldn't imagine how terrifying the return rate would be for him to sell the company's desperate project. No, we can't just let Gu Feng run away like this. No big deal, just give him a kiss yourself. At this point, Qin Yao didn't care about the fact that the two were still arguing and even getting slapped. She quickly put on her clothes and was about to go out to find Gu Feng to investigate. At the same time, he didn't forget to reply to Zhou Yi's message, "Thank you, Zhou Yi. He doesn't even discuss such a big matter with me, so it's true that you care more about me, it's okay, as long as you have a happy life, Yao Yao, it's more important than anything else." Qin Yao put away her phone and smiled coldly, the toad wants to eat swan meat. At the very least, Qin Yao had to marry someone like Gu Feng, who had a net worth of millions. If it weren't for her large daily expenses and her collusion with Zhou Yi to embezzle company funds, it was ridiculous that he really felt interested in him and even fantasized about being able to handle it. The licking dog licked until it had nothing left. Gu Feng, who had solved a bunch of problems in the company, first arrived at the largest trade center in Nanzhou, the Yiwu Dasheng supermarket. Although a large amount of food, water, medicine, etc. can be purchased by Lin Ruoxue through tasks, but there are also some things that are not suitable for sending missions, such as tobacco and alcohol, beverages, game consoles, sets for cutting off children and grandchildren, bows and crossbows, and even firearms. If a mission is released, it will actually arouse Lin Ruoxue's suspicion, at least for now. Gu Feng doesn't want to reveal his identity, and Lin Ruoxue is also very conscious and hasn't asked any questions about the true information of Hui Feng. I don't know how the beautiful CEO's exercise progress is, but Gu Feng remembered Lin Ruoxue's cold and beautiful face. The two of them once had a project collaboration. During the meeting between the two sides, Lin Ruoxue was directly stunned by Gu Feng. It was the first time he had seen a woman who was even more beautiful than Qin Yao, a school flower-level beauty. Gu Feng couldn't help but recall the differences between the two in their past lives. You're right, the path I'm taking is not feasible. He won't make the same mistake again. As he walked to the door, the general manager of Yiwu supermarket was already waiting for him. Before Gu Feng arrived, he had already informed him by company phone that he wanted to negotiate a $10 million order. Although his company is just a small ant compared to Yiwu's supermarket, no one would underestimate one of the twin stars in the business world of Nanzhou. In their view, the difference between Gu Feng and Lin Ruoxue is just a difference in starting point. Compared to Lin Ruoxue, they are more willing to value Gu Feng. Without it, the Lin Group is already a behemoth, while the Gu family company is still a young seedling. Adding icing on the cake is easy, but delivering charcoal in the snow is difficult. The cost and return of investing in Gu Feng far exceed that of Lin Ruoxue. Moreover, although Gu Feng's company currently only has a market value of a few hundred million yuan, everyone knows in their hearts that a large number of projects will be settled by the end of the year. Gu Feng has at least several hundred million outstanding contract payments in his hands. Li Yang bent down and reached out his hand, showing a smile. "Mr. Gu, I have finally brought you with me. I didn't have the opportunity to cooperate before, but this time when I get rich, I have to bring us along." "Oh my." Gu Feng reached out and shook hands with him. "Mr. Li is too polite. My small company doesn't have such great capabilities. If you want to make a fortune, it's also Mr. Li who made it. Then I'll borrow your auspicious words. Mr. Gu has come all the way, would you like to experience our high-end service?" "No need, let's finalize the contract as soon as possible, otherwise it will delay Mr. Li's financial path, and I will become a criminal." Upon hearing these words, Li Yang immediately burst into laughter. Gu Feng's intention is very obvious, which is to coordinate the project with Li Yang separately and sign the contract directly. In this way, there is no need to go through complex company cooperation processes, and the departments below will not have the opportunity to share a $1 million order. Li Yang eats it all alone. Li Yang almost bent down all the way to welcome Gu Feng into the conference room, and he also gathered the heads of various departments of Yiwu supermarket to be specifically responsible for the content of this meeting. Everyone understands the basic situation. Mr. Gu's order this time mainly consists of grain, alcohol, and fuel. What is the lowest quotation that the procurement department can provide? The head of the procurement department reported the prices of various materials, which caused dissatisfaction from Li Yang. What I want is the lowest quotation. Your price is at least 10% higher. Is it okay if I don't understand? The person in charge said somewhat hesitantly, Mr. Li, you just returned from a business trip abroad and may not be familiar with the domestic market situation. The lowest price now is this. Upon hearing this, Li Yang and Gu Feng were both stunned. Li Yang felt a bit embarrassed and said, Mr. Gu, I'm really sorry, this is already our most sincere price. What is the current market price of grain? Wheat costs 3,600 yuan per ton, high-quality rice costs 3,700 yuan per ton, mid to late season indica rice. I understand, let's follow your quotation. Seeing that Gu Feng had no objections, the contract was quickly finalized, and all the seals on the U side had been stamped. The remaining ones were brought back to the company by Gu Feng for stamping, and a 15% deposit was paid. The transaction was considered completed. Balance payment after a month, even if you have a chance to take it, there will be no bank receipts. Mr. Li, after finally coming, I'll just take a stroll and go buy some more things. Okay, I'll go get a few people to pick up something for you. Having just reached a deal worth 50 million yuan, Li Yang was very happy and enthusiastically offered to personally accompany Gu Feng around the mall. He even declined several times without success. Helpless, Gu Feng had to pick up a bunch of tobacco, drinks, and snacks. As for small umbrellas and nice uniforms, he had to go back and buy them online. A wave of sweeping goods loaded several vehicles, and Gu Feng asked them to deliver them to his own company's warehouse. After finishing these tasks, it was already evening. Looking at the sky, he drove towards the most famous restaurant in Nanzhou. Along the way, he began to recall a sentence from today's meeting, the price of grain has increased. What a problem. Grain has always been the most strictly controlled commodity in Kyushu, how can it increase by more than 20% in a short period of time? The official did not call a halt, which already indicates the problem. There is a large flow of funds hoarding supplies. Gu Feng felt a chill, and there must be someone like him who knew the news of the end of the world in advance, and even the authorities themselves were preparing. So the regime established in one's past life cannot be the first one in the apocalyptic calendar. Where have all these people who received the news in advance gone? Who else is eligible to receive the news? What is their purpose? You should know that even Lin Ruoxue didn't know the end of the world in advance in her past life, and she didn't even do as well as herself. Gu Feng furrowed his brows. Will all of this be a conspiracy? Chapter 6. The first task of the female CEO. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin Ruoxue closed the company's gym, leaving only herself to exercise inside. Reason told her that such things should not exist in the world, and she would rather everything that happened today be her own fantasy. Making her believe in the chat group is another thing. The governor's family is all missing. Since last week, there has been no news from the governor of Nanzhou. The company recently had a project with the government, but due to the absence of the governor, the project progress was stuck. Originally, it was normal for government agencies to delay project progress, but today, a post-apocalyptic chat group inexplicably appeared in her mind, making her wary of major projects. After inquiring from multiple sources, she finally received the news that not only the governor, but even his close relatives could not be reached. The governor announced a trip to the outside world, but in order to avoid unnecessary trouble, the itinerary was hidden. It's okay to deceive others with such words, but how could someone like Lin Ruoxue believe his nonsense? Lin Ruoxue asked others to gather information while purchasing reserve materials from various sources. If she could pay attention to the price changes of food, fuel, and other materials, perhaps she could be certain of the existence of the apocalypse, but Lin Ruoxue stood too high, making her unable to see the things at the bottom. However, she also has her own way. After completing that task, she will be rewarded with 10 points. When she buys something in the mall, she can verify the authenticity of everything. So far, post-apocalyptic chat groups have only existed in her mind, and only those that can accurately influence reality will be recognized as real by her. In the corner of the gym, she is fully focused on doing sit-ups, which is also the last task. I pushed off a day's schedule for this task. 18919019199. When there was still one last action left, she suddenly stopped, and Lin Ruoxue was a bit confused. She didn't know if she really wanted it to be true. Her life is thriving, so she doesn't want the end of the world to come, but the items in the mall are too tempting. Being selected by chat groups seems to mean a higher level of life, and her heart is full of expectations. Lin Ruoxue lay on the ground, staring blankly at the ceiling. She had heard people say that if there was a difficult choice between two, then flip a coin. It's not fate that determines your choices, but at the moment the coin is tossed, you have the answer in your heart. If I don't want to believe it, there's no need to do so much according to the task. Lin Ruoxue's face was flushed with health, sweat dripping down her forehead, leaving sparkling marks. Her chest was heaving, and her tight sportswear trembled, outlining mesmerizing curves. At this moment, she was full of vitality and anticipation. No matter what kind of monsters it is, when did Lin Ruoxue fear it? Inhale, get up, and complete the final action. A crisp sound resounded in my mind, ding. Doomsday Preparation 1, task completed, reward points *10, current points 10. Newcomer, keep this momentum going, and you will be grateful to your current self in a month. Lin Ruoxue didn't rush to the mall to exchange items, but calmly got up and walked into the bathroom, sweeping away her fatigue. She changed into a casual outfit and then sat in the office preparing to use her points. Chat groups. I am here. A light blue interface appeared in Lin Ruoxue's mind. She chose them all, clicked on the pistol, and below it appeared a bunch of models. Lin Ruoxue didn't know much about firearms, so she had to choose a familiar Desert Eagle. A bright silver pistol suddenly appeared on the table in front of Lin Ruoxue, and she was sure that she never blinked. Redemption successful, currently points 9. She reached out her right hand, ready to pick up the gun, but almost missed it. After all, after just one day of exercise, my muscles are all weak and sore, so heavy. Only with two hands can the pistol be steadily aimed. Lin Ruoxue opens the safety and loads the bullet. At the same time as exchanging, the system also provides instructions on how to use firearms. Lin Ruoxue learned from what she looked like on TV, with her arms stretched out and her gun aimed out the window, pulling the trigger, bang. A strong sound echoed in the night sky, causing Lin Ruoxue to feel dizzy for a moment. She never expected that the sound of shooting would be so loud. Today, she used an excuse to make everyone in the building leave work early, and coupled with the fact that it was already late, the nearby area was relatively quiet. Can anyone from a radius of several hundred meters hear this movement? At the same time, the enormous recoil force directly caused the gun to shake off its grip and fall to the ground. Dee. The security room downstairs sends a signal asking if there is a problem. Lin Ruoxue rubbed her sore wrist while nodding no. After firing this shot, it seemed like her body had finally reached a critical point. She only felt soreness all over her body, sat in a chair to rest for a while, and then opened them all again. Redemption successful, currently points 4. In front of him suddenly appeared a white semi-transparent bottle, with a black skull logo on the bottle, and the two big characters, kidney treasure, written next to it. Does this thing really have a restorative effect? Lin Ruoxue, who had fired a gun, completely believed everything. Her face was a bit strange, but she didn't hesitate and took a sip. Warm waves surged from her stomach towards her body, and she could feel the exhaustion of her body rapidly disappearing. In less than 10 seconds, she recovered to her best state. Lin Ruoxue was ecstatic in her heart, and couldn't help but pick up the Desert Eagle and shoot out the window, bang. This time, I was prepared, but I didn't let go or was scared by the loud noise. It was the security guard downstairs who sent another inquiry to the office terminal. Lin Ruoxue directly held down the intercom button and told the other person that nothing had happened. Holding the gun in her hand, Lin Ruoxue excitedly walked back and forth in the office, like a little girl getting a new doll. It's true, all of this is true. The end of the world will come, civilization will collapse, everything I have will disappear, but why am I so happy? Perhaps she was selected by the post-apocalyptic chat group with infinite possibilities, or perhaps she has a genetic predisposition to adventure. While the female CEO was still working on tasks, Gu Feng walked into a restaurant, the Imperial Restaurant, the most luxurious in Kyushu and also one of the most expensive restaurants in the world. He casually presented his membership card, and the welcoming lady warmly led him to the VIP area. "Hello, may I introduce today's recommended dishes to you?" Gu Feng extended his finger and pointed to the top few dishes on the menu, "This, and this. Forget it, give me a portion of each of the recommended dishes above." At this moment, the waitress in charge of VIP service also walked over. The welcoming lady looked like she saw a savior and quickly whispered a few words to her. The waitress smiled and turned her head, saying in a gentle tone, "There are a total of 38 dishes that meet your needs today. Here is the list of dishes. Could you please confirm if there are any taboos?" As he spoke, he handed over a tablet with a shopping list worth 120,000 yuan. The waitress asked about the reasons for the taboo and handed the order to Gu Feng for confirmation again. In case the other party made a mistake, she would not deny their face. "That's all, hurry up and serve the dishes. He hasn't eaten anything for a day. It's not that he likes to go hungry, it's just that he got used to the feeling of hunger in the apocalypse." The sweet-looking waitress stayed in place to serve Gu Feng, while others did the rest. Even the napkins and masks were worn by the waitress for him. As Gu Feng closed his eyes and regained his composure, the other party still gave him a thoughtful head massage. The life of a wealthy person is really good. Gu Feng was not really closing his eyes to recuperate, but the sound of reminders from the post-apocalyptic chat group echoed in his mind. Group member Lin Ruoxue completes the task. End of world preparation 1. Host rewards 20 points, currently 20 points. Chapter 7, Master of the Group, Stop Talking. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Group member Lin Ruoxue completes the task. End of world preparation level 1, E, earns points *10, host rewards points *20, currently points 20. Congratulations to the host for completing the task for the first time. An additional reward of 10 points will be given. Currently, the points are 30. What an action-oriented person. Those contents are very difficult for the vast majority of girls, and even for many men. Lin Ruoxue surprisingly completed them in just half a day. Gu Feng felt a little emotional. If S.level strong people were all as inspirational as her, then their plans might not be as easy as they imagined. Previously, when inviting group members, the system scanned out 5 S.level superpowers in Antarctica, 2 of whom I had never heard of in the apocalypse. Rather than betting that they haven't survived the virus and zombies, Gu Feng is more willing to assume that they are all hidden. We need to be more vigilant against S.level characters, including Qin Yao, and I'm afraid none of them are easy to get along with. Well, except for Feng Jiangwo. Gu Feng looked at his 20 points and hesitated whether to exchange them for T.virus stock or to issue a private commission to Lin Ruoxue to investigate other S.level superpowers. After careful consideration, Gu Feng decided to exchange T-virus stock solution first. In the movie Resident Evil, the female protagonist Alice, after being modified by the T.virus, directly becomes a little superhero, surpassing ordinary people in terms of reaction speed, muscle strength, recovery speed, and even intelligence. It's even possible to awaken your mental drive. However, it seems that the raw materials sold in the system mall do not have this feature. But this is already very abnormal. You should know that when the end of the world comes and humans experience virus invasion, even if they awaken their abilities, they cannot instantly become superhumans. The integration of the human body in supernatural powers requires time, practical training, and the energy provided by spiritual crystals. All three are indispensable. In the first month of the apocalypse, the vast majority of psychics were unable to indiscriminately kill ordinary people, which shows the strength of the T-virus original liquid. Thinking of this, Feng no longer hesitated. In the case of the disappearance of the ability, priority must be given to enhancing his own strength. Chat groups. Host, I am here. Exchange for T-virus stock solution. Successful, currently accumulating 10 points. Looking at the injections placed in the space, Feng Chang breathed a sigh of relief. Even before the end of the world, with this strength, more can be achieved. I'm not in a hurry to use it. The sweet beauty is still massaging herself. The waitress saw Feng's nth smile on her face and thought it was because of her good service, but her hand movements became even more agile. Noticing the waitress's intentions, Feng didn't interrupt and continued to close his eyes to rest. In the chat group, Grey Wind. Congratulations, you have completed the first task. I hope you have already exchanged useful items. Sister is the queen. You seem to have a lot of information about group members. Grey Wind. Not much, I have no intention of prying into your privacy. Sister is the queen. Do you know what color I like the most? Feng originally intended to answer red directly. Although Lin Ruoxue always wore a cold black outfit to the outside world, he knew in his past life that Lin Ruoxue liked red. No, this woman is deceiving me. Feng's smile became more pronounced at the corner of his mouth, attracting the waitress to be more attentive. This VIP is so handsome, and he likes my technique so much. Would you like to ask for a contact information later? But how could such a big shot like him possibly value himself? The waitress shook her head. No, we can't just give up like this. At least we need to give it a try. He looks quite satisfied with me, even if he takes care of me. He's so handsome and worth it. Feng is indeed very satisfied, it's just about treating another woman. Lin Ruoxue always sees deeper things from the surface. If the content revealed by Feng is on the first layer, then Lin Ruoxue can at least see the third layer, and then speculate on her own to the fifth layer, but she can only speak the second layer. Grey Wind. Instead of caring about these things, it's better to think more about how to survive in the apocalypse. Sister is the queen. The Grey Wind is strong, your reply has noticeably slowed down. This damn woman. Sending messages within a chat group only requires one thought, without the need for fingers to tap the screen, which means that reply time is equivalent to thinking time. Sister is the queen. You know more about me than I imagined. Want to test how much you actually know? Feng sneered. Since that's the case, I won't pretend anymore. Grey Wind. Lin Ruoxue, one of the most dazzling business twin stars in Nanzhou, appears to like black on the surface but has a cold personality. In fact, she likes red and has a hot personality. She is a typical I person. Without giving her time to think, Feng continued to send. Feng said, she was originally an illegitimate daughter of the Lin family and was raised by a nanny. She has been bullied by several legitimate children since childhood. She hates her third sister the most because she once stripped off your clothes. However, 4 years ago, she was designed to be killed by you. Due to her perfect methods, she was ultimately identified as an unsolved case. Feng retrieved her operation records in the chat group again, which showed that 12.28, 19.57.03, viewed the radiance pill, not purchased, on December 28, 19.57.09, I checked the Huan Yen Dan and did not purchase it, 12.28, 19.57.56, check the Huan Yen Dan, not purchased, a total of 16 times. Grey Wind. Recently, there has been appearance anxiety, suspected to be caused by long-term fatigue. Lin Ruoxue. The group leader hesitated and said more. Grey Wind. There is a mole the size of a grain of rice just above the left chest. Sister is the queen. Shut up. What if we agreed not to pry into her privacy? The other party can reveal their own experiences and personality, and I have no doubt about it, but he dares to point out his appearance. You also know your private parts. Lin Ruoxue bit her silver teeth lightly, her plump chest undulating. She took a few deep breaths and forced herself to calm down. The mole on my chest, apart from the nanny who raised me, is only known to the deceased birth mother and third sister. How did this grey wind know? Has she already looked at her body? 2 clouds flew over Lin Ruoxue's face, but at this moment, Gu Feng seemed to be able to guess her thoughts and sent a message, grey wind. I'm lucky, it's not just men. You're a lucky ghost. Hey. Lin Ruoxue's crispy chest, which had just calmed down, began to rise and fall again. She gritted her teeth and asked, Sister is the queen. What exactly is your purpose? Grey wind. Whether you believe it or not, I hope you can live on. That's a good statement. Only by living can we contribute points to him. Sister is the queen. So, living is very beneficial for you. Smart people are really annoying. Gu Feng felt a headache and waved his hand to stop the receptionist for a massage. How come I can't meet the kind of idiot who can be fooled by 2 or 3 words? Grey wind. To be precise, it is of great benefit to humanity. Anyway, I also want to unify myself. After all, population is the foundation of everything, and I can't wait for everything to be exchanged from the system mall. What if one day the chat group disappears? Beneficial to oneself is beneficial to the future of humanity. Well, this logic is really perfect. Sister is the queen. How can I receive a new task? At this moment, the receptionist reminded the young lady on the side, Hello, the dishes have been gradually completed. Gu Feng opened his eyes and looked at the delicious food on the table, his fingers twitching. He hadn't eaten decent food for half a year. Sister is the queen. Hello, why aren't you talking? Silently turning the chat group to silent, Gu Feng picked up his knife and fork, and just as he was about to indulge in it, annoying sounds came from his ear. Gu Feng. Why are you here? Chapter 8. Licking Dog Diary 1. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qin Yao looked at Gu Feng with some surprise and shouted loudly, I heard you're going to sell the company. Why don't you discuss it with me? The receptionists on the side all gossiped and then were quickly driven away by the manager. Dear Miss, hello. Could you please control the volume while dining? Thank you for your understanding. The manager leaned forward slightly, placed one hand in front of him, and made a standard bow posture. Qin Yao doesn't think so. As a VIP, how dare the little manager command her? You need to figure out your positioning and be your waiter's boots. When will a worker still be able to command the master? The customer manager was a bit confused. Who isn't a prominent figure who comes here for dinner? Why is this woman so lacking in quality? Also, why is one side of her face swollen so high? I'm sorry for what I said earlier, but could you please take care of the dining experience of other guests? Are you dining alone? Qin Yao snorted and pointed to Gu Feng, this is my boyfriend, don't say you don't know him. The customer manager is naturally familiar with him, and he knows every VIP's identity as well as Qin Yao, who is also known for being difficult to serve here. How could such an excellent person find such a girlfriend? Even though he had undergone professional training, he couldn't help but give Gu Feng a strange glance. Sorry, I don't know her. Gu Feng directly drew the boundary. Fortunately, I never went out to eat with her in my past life, it's really embarrassing. Woo-woo, Gu Feng, you scumbag. After playing, they won't recognize you anymore. Do you deserve all the years of youth I've devoted to you? Unexpectedly, Qin Yao started throwing a splash directly, while the group of people who were still somewhat dissatisfied on the side picked up their phone with interest to record the video. Gu Feng was too lazy to reason with her and just raised his hand, pop. The crisp buzzing echoed in the restaurant, and Qin Yao covered her other face, about to start shouting hysterically, pop. Shut up. Gu Feng slapped her again and directly calmed her down physically. I've been dating for 2.5 years, and I've called 1, 2, 3 ducks. They've only held hands with me at most. Received millions of gifts and never returned anything to me. I have to find connections to settle the 12 failed exams in 3 years of college. Don't take my tolerance as your capital, idiot, get lost. Someone next to me applauded and said, that's a good scolding. Then he was grabbed by his girlfriend's ear and said, what are you doing here? Sit down obediently for me. Qin Yao had an incredulous expression on her face, extending her trembling finger to point at Gu Feng, You. What are you? Can you say another word? Gu Feng spoke and raised his hand again. Seeing this posture, Qin Yao immediately stood up and ran away like a cigarette. I'm so unlucky that even farting can hit my heel, and even eating a meal can hit a dead person. It's really unlucky. After driving away the obstacles, Gu Feng was finally able to enjoy the delicious food with peace of mind. On the other hand, Qin Yao returned to Gu Feng's house in tears and directly connected Zhou Yi's phone. Hello, Yao Yao. Why are you crying? Who's bothering my little beauty? The baby doesn't cry, my brother is with you. The sound of a dog barking came from the phone, and Qin Yao cried and said, I originally wanted to persuade Gu Feng to run the company well, but to my surprise, he not only didn't appreciate it, but also beat me outside. Woo, I hate him. Upon hearing this, Zhou Yi felt ecstatic in his heart. In that case, wouldn't his opportunity come? Yao Yao is not afraid, isn't Gu Feng going to sell the company? I'll have my parents put in all the money tomorrow, and I can definitely raise enough money to buy his company. In the future, I will be the boss and you will be the boss's wife, but he has become an ordinary person. Let's humiliate him well then. Upon hearing this, Qin Yao seemed to realize that this was indeed the case. Anyway, Gu Feng's company was also constantly making money from energy sources, so it didn't matter without Gu Feng. No, how can I believe that you will be like Gu Feng, earning money and leaving others behind? Zhou Yi became anxious and quickly explained, Yao Yao, my love for you can be seen from heaven and earth. I am willing to do anything for you. Qin Yao's mouth curled up and said, I've been abandoned before, and now I'm penniless. How do you want me to believe you? Penniless. How could a man who is about to own the most promising company in southern Zhou lack money? However, after buying Gu Feng's company, it seems that I really can't come up with much money. Underneath his heart, Zhou Yi said, Yao Yao, I am willing to divide the company's shares among you at a low price by 5 points, and you will become a shareholder in the future. Qin Yao was directly shocked. Do you want to hear what you're saying? However, she also knew that she must seize the opportunity for the other party's Mi Qing Chong to brainstorm, so she pretended to be surprised and said, Really? Are you really willing to do this for me? Woo, you're so kind, 10,000 times better than that heartless man. That's nature, I think Yao Yao is the best in the world. But without any evidence, Brother Yi, it's not that I don't believe you, but that I was just abandoned and didn't feel secure. Would you be willing to sign an agreement with me? Come to my house, I really want to see you now. I really want to see your money in shares, Qin Yao thought proudly. The sound of Brother Yi used her 120% of her martial arts skills, and Zhou Yi was so eager to die that he immediately replied, Okay, Yao Yao, wait for me, I'll go now. Well, Brother Yi, come over quickly. I will prepare the agreement for you. After all, a good wife should share her worries with her husband. Zhou Yi's saliva flowed down, and his mind was filled with images of being entangled with Qin Yao. In just half an hour, Zhou Yi arrived at Gu Feng's house. Qin Yao specially changed into a silk nightgown, and under the dim light, she could vaguely see smooth skin. Zhou Yi swallowed his saliva and said, Yao Yao, I'm here and I've brought your favorite autumn tea. Qin Yao covered her mouth and said in surprise, oh my goodness, that store has to queue for at least an hour at this point. How did you do it? Just waiting for her to ask, Zhou Yi said affectionately, in order not to cut in the queue, I humbly begged them one by one from the end of the team. It doesn't matter if I suffer any injustice in order for Yao Yao to get this cup of tea. Of course, this is fake. Zhou Yi spent 300 yuan directly treating the first few people in the team and successfully jumped the queue in just 1 second. Qin Yao felt disdainful in her heart, but for the sake of those shares, she still cooperated with his performance. Wow, Brother Yi is really kind to Yao Yao. Unfortunately, Yao Yao didn't get to know Brother Yi earlier and had to endure Gu Feng's frustration for nothing. Woo woo XX, as she spoke, she unexpectedly shed a few more tears. Zhou Yi quickly reached out to wipe it for her, but Qin Yao grabbed her hand on the back. She blushed and said, Brother Yi, I've figured it out. As long as you're willing to share some of the equity with me, let's make it public as a couple. Looking at Qin Yao's affectionate and watery eyes, Zhou Yi didn't even think about it, so he picked up his name on the nearby agreement bookmark. Throwing those few pieces of paper aside casually, Zhou Yi panted heavily and approached Qin Yao. Ah, what do you want, Brother Yi? Brother Yi, I miss Yao Yao. Looking at Zhou Yi's foolish appearance, Qin Yao quickly pushed him away, but this is still Gu Feng's house. I don't want our first time to happen in someone else's place, can you understand me? Zhou Ilian hurriedly said, then let's go to my house. My house is quite big too. But in order to raise funds, Brother Yi has already mortgaged his house, right? Yao Yao wants to hand herself over to Brother Yi in her true home, okay? Qin Yao coquettishly grabbed Zhou Yi's hands and shook them back and forth, then quickly said, as if remembering something, Brother Yi, Gu Feng may come back at any time. Please leave quickly and don't give him a chance to turn back. Upon hearing this, Zhou Yi became a bit anxious. If he were to see himself and his ex-girlfriend staying at his home, he might not be willing to sell the company to himself. He couldn't even take Qin Yao away immediately. If Gu Feng came back and found that the person was missing, he would inevitably have doubts. Zhou Yi was a bit flustered. After I leave, will Gu Feng bully you again? No, I'll call my best friend to accompany me. We'll sleep in one room each, so Gu Feng won't be able to stay. After all, I only want to live with Brother EW. This is a lie. Qin Yao is well aware that Gu Feng will not come back. In the past, when Qin Yao played with men, he would argue with Gu Feng on an excuse, and then he would go out to stay at the company or hotel. In Qin Yao's concept, she calls men playable, and if a man wants to get her, dream. Once the shares are acquired, I won't have to pretend to Zhou Yi anymore. Zhou Yi came happily and also left happily. In just a few minutes, Qin Yao held hands twice, but paid a huge price. After he left, Qin Yao originally wanted to call a fitness coach to play, but then remembered that Gu Feng seemed to have changed his personality and finally dialed a phone number called Su Lingling. Wu, is that Xiaoling? Can you come and accompany me tonight? Let me tell you, Gu Feng. Chapter 9. Hey yo, look at people truly accurately. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What? Senior, how could he do this? A gentle female voice came from the other end of the phone. Although she was comforting Qin Yao, her words carried a strong suspicion. Wu, Xiaoling, come and take a look and I'll know if it's true. I'm so scared alone. There was no hesitation on the phone and immediately replied, then I'll come over right away. Sister Yao, please wait for me a little longer. Qin Yao hung up the phone, with no trace of sadness on her face. As long as Xiaoling is called over, even if Gu Feng comes back, he will consider her feelings and can only obediently give up the house to himself. If I persist for a few more days and obtain the shares of Gu Feng Company, I won't have to look at anyone's face anymore. Qin Yao was in contact with a lawyer while imagining her beautiful future. At that time, I will also have to take care of dozens or 20 male pets, and then switch to self-media, packaging a new era independent female character that, Cinderella, abandoned by wealthy young masters, has finally achieved success through my own efforts, hee. It hurts so much. She originally wanted to burst out laughing, but didn't want to involve her facial muscles. For a moment, the swelling and pain were unbearable. Qin Yao's face darkened. When she got rich, she must make Gu Feng die hard. On the other hand, Gu Feng was ultimately unable to finish this dinner worth 120,000 yuan. Even though I have become younger, my appetite has decreased so much. If it were in a previous life, I could easily solve these delicacies, but in a previous life, I didn't have a chance to eat them either. With a wave of her hand, the sweet girl immediately walked to the table and waited quietly, waiting for instructions from the other party. I am very satisfied with the dishes here. Now I will pack all your signature dishes in 100 portions and deliver them to this address. Gu Feng handed the other party a piece of paper with the location of his company's warehouse written on it. Sweet girl bowed stiffly, turned around and ran to find the manager, almost falling on the way. The account manager also came running over, and he first said apologetically, "I'm really sorry, do you know that our restaurant only produces high-end ingredients, and delivery can greatly affect the taste of the dishes. Indeed, many restaurants dedicated to the wealthy do not offer delivery services, but this is just a reason to filter out the poor. I have an extra 20% price." Sweat flowed down the manager's forehead. "Mr. Gu, we're not that kind of restaurant. I have an extra 50%. Hey, Mr. Gu, you're so accurate at seeing people. May I ask when you need it? The night after tomorrow, it must be fresh. Can you do it?" He has secretly tried it out, and the system space can retain some of the item's state. Even if hot food is put in, it will still be warm when taken out. The account manager patted his chest and loudly said, "I guarantee with the reputation of our restaurant that all dishes are always in their freshest state." Gu Feng's gaze was a bit strange. Did the manager just ask Qin Yao to keep it quiet? After being full of wine and food, Gu Feng walked out of the imperial dining hall slowly and started watching chat groups. Lin Ruoxue at first fell silent for half an hour, then couldn't help but continue sending messages. "Sister is the queen. You don't know what to do you? I still have some energy in Kyushu, maybe I can help you. Sister, you're a strange person." Gu Feng ignored her information manipulation behavior and instead replied, "Gray wind. Do you have a big appetite? Sister is the queen. How could you ask such a question to a girl? Have you ever seen a beautiful woman who is the king of stomachs?" Well, it seems that Lin Ruoxue, who is so beautiful and has a good figure, must have strict dietary management. Hui Feng said, "I just packed some food on the street. Since you don't have an appetite, forget it. Can you pack the leftovers for me?" Lin Ruoxue really wants to hit someone now. I stubbornly suppressed countless vulgar sentences. After all, the chat group only needs one idea to send out, and my image must not be destroyed. Sister is the queen. I'm really looking forward to you treating me to a late-night snack. I'm not sure if you personally brought it over, or if I'll find you somewhere else. I'll knock you unconscious when we meet later. Sister has been holding you for a long time. Gray wind. I'll just casually say, this is my leftover food. Sister is the queen. It's okay, I believe everything about you. Gray wind is special. Even if you're male, I don't mind sharing a meal with you. Sigh, Lin Ruoxue, you still hide this side. Gray wind. Okay, since even the beautiful women don't mind, then I don't need to hide it. Lin Ruoxue clenched her fists secretly, but at the same time, she felt something was wrong. How could he reveal his identity so easily? Does he have any evil thoughts towards me? Her whole body trembled, and she felt that she should bring more bodyguards to meet. As I was thinking, the sound of chat group prompts came to my mind. Gray wind, do you accept your transaction request? Lin Ruoxue had a bad premonition and chose to accept it. A tightly wrapped box appeared in her mind. Sure enough, how could this man so kindly tell himself his identity? I shouldn't believe him. Lin Ruoxue angrily pounded the table twice, and the secretary outside immediately knocked on the door to inquire, "Mr. Lin, do you have any instructions?" She felt a bit annoyed by her subordinates for the first time. "It's okay, you go rest first. There won't be any other work today." Lin Ruoxue finally gritted her teeth and completed the transaction. A box suddenly appeared on the table, and as she looked at it, she had a new idea. The food that people like Feng must eat is not average. If we search for the source of food. Lin Ruoxue reached out to open the packaging, which contained 2 skewers of roasted chicken wings. Zhong. Lin Ruoxue never expected that what the other party sent over would be grilled wings everywhere on the street. "You better never let me know your true identity." Lin Ruoxue grabbed the roasted wings and was about to throw them away, but the strong aroma wafting from the skewers made her stop her hand involuntarily. It smells strange and fragrant. How about taking a bite? The group leader shouldn't harm me, right? What if this chicken wing is a miraculous elixir? Well, just take a bite. After she regained her senses, there were only 8 bones left after 2 skewers of 4 roasted wings. Ha 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 ha. These grilled wings are so delicious. I really want to eat some more. Pop. Smash your hands hard on your face. Lin Ruoxue, how could you be so corrupt? Have you forgotten your rationality and ideals? Let's still question Grey Wind. Lin Ruoxue stirred up a chat group, but didn't know what to say. Just finished eating someone else's grilled wings, inexplicably feeling a bit awkward. Feng. Hey, the CEO is shy. Lin Ruoxue. Bastard, please shut up. Chapter 10. Grey Wind, you bastard. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. De co lois ara trong quatrin lay text.